Maybe it's because I'm an idiot, but never has a weapon been more deceptively difficult than the bucket in Splatoon. In theory it's simple, it's a bucket of paint you throw at things, but there is a nuance to it. I imagined it to be similar to a shotgun, it isn't, but it seems that the stupid thing is a big part of the meta at the moment, so I've put in the hard yards and figured it out. So here are my tips for using the slosh bucket. I'm using the Tri-Slosher bucket, but these tips will apply to all of its forms, regardless of which you use. By the way, roughly 2 hits will splat an enemy. As always, if you find this video useful, make sure to subscribe and check out my other guides, and if you have tips of your own, leave them in the comments. Also, click like if you like, it makes me tingle. You might know how to read the reticle in Splatoon, or you perhaps have a subconscious understanding of how it works, but for the sake of this guide, I'll just quickly explain its meaning. The border of the reticle is a loose guide of what will be hit, and gives you a rough idea of the spread of your projectile. This varies, obviously, on the weapon you are using. If you hover your reticle over something that can be hit, say a wall or ink rail, a circle will appear. If the reticle has a circle and a cross, it's a target that can take damage. I would prioritise hitting those ones. When 2 reticles appear, one will be faded out and stuck in the centre of the screen. The second will be highlighted and seen to be sliding up and down. The faded reticle is your intended trajectory. The highlighted is where it will actually hit. This generally appears when your target is obscured by a wall or other obstacle. The hitbox. Now I can explain the hitbox of the Slosher's projectile. When I first started using the Slosher, I found some frustration with what appeared to be hitting my targets and what was actually doing damage, so let me explain. When you fire, the tip of the projectile will travel towards your reticle, leaving behind a trail of ink that will be unbroken from where you stand. As you would expect, enemies hit by the tip of the projectile will take damage. However, enemies hit by the trail of the ink also take damage. My frustrations have stemmed from the seemingly random hitbox of the ink trail when using the Slosher. Where it appears to have hit the enemy, it at times just doesn't seem to actually connect. With practice, this has become less of an issue for me, so if you're having the same trouble, my suggestion really is just a few games practice and some play in the training area. I'll just quickly point out, unlike with other weapons in the game, there is no actual randomness to the spread or damage of the Slosher. I highly recommend the Tri-Slosher loadout, as the tip of its projectile actually splits into 3, which hits a larger area and increases your potential accuracy, with little damage loss compared to the original Slosher. And with that, we can move into the main draw of the weapon, its potential for verticality. The Slosher is in its element attacking enemies that are hidden behind cover or ledges. They will have a harder time firing back, as firing with the bucket leaves an unbroken stretch of ink. This allows for firing into blind spots concealing enemies. If you're aware of an enemy behind cover, you can adjust your trajectory to hit them with the trail of your slosh of ink. If you manage to get 2 good hits, there's a good chance they'll get splattered. Even if not, you'll have hopefully severely hindered their movement, opening you up for a flank from the sides or attacking from above. The Slosher particularly excels at firing at enemies above you on the ledge. Get close to the ledge and fire up at them. While you don't need to see them to do damage, if they want to hit you, they will have to appear in your line of sight. If you're firing down at an enemy, stand back from the ledge so that they cannot fire directly at you and fire. Even if they begin to climb up to you, it will put them in a more vulnerable position. It should be noted, you do slightly less damage to enemies below you. Avoiding direct engagement, or assessing the situation. The Slosher has a few drawbacks. For one, its high damage output is offset by its lower fire rate, so when you are engaging, try and avoid mashing the fire button and only shoot when the weapon is ready and you are aimed at your target. It's easier said than done, but in a direct engagement, missing just once can have a high price. If you do engage directly, keep enemies at range, as the Slosher has a pretty decent spread and damage does not drop over distance. As the Slosher is 2 hits to kill, it excels in surprise engagements, as with the Roller. You can take down an enemy very quickly before they can react, so use that to your advantage. To add to this, when firing at an enemy, it is often good practice to fire just above them. This will still cause them damage, but also cut off any potential escape routes behind them, trapping them in with your ink so you can quickly finish them off. So the bottom line is, avoid direct engagements, go for sneaky kills. But don't forget to ink turf in turf war. Got any tips to share or suggestions for another video? Comment below, and thanks for watching.